Hey everyone. So as many of you know, I'm a house hacker and investor here in Los Angeles. It just so happens one of my units was actually my very first house hack is now vacant. The tenants moved out. So me, along with many landlords out there, all have the same question, which is, do I sell it or do I rent it? I'm in the same dilemma. So I thought I would do a video series kind of going through the thought process, what the different options are, and share it with you guys. So in this video, we're going to talk about what if I decide to rent it? What are the pros? Let's get started. Okay, so when looking at rental comps, it's really, you can look and see in the multiple listing service what stuff is rented for, which is a great resource, but most tenants can't see that. Most tenants, when they're on the hunt, they're looking at what is available and compare the two. So my unit is a condo in Tarzana, 2-bed, 2-bath. So what I did was I went on Zillow. Zillow is a great resource because most people post their rental listings there, and it gives you more information than you probably should see, but it's good to see. So you go to Zillow.com, type in the zip code, and you click for rent. I put 2 bedrooms. I didn't change bathrooms because I didn't want my inventory to be really shrunk. I just wanted to get an idea of what's out there, and you can see what's popped up. Now you might get excited and say, well, this one's asking $2,800, but then this one's asking $2,300. So what is it? Where should I go? So here's the little trick. You can go to each one and see all the information, including days listed and contacts. Now, if using this one as an example, this has been listed for 30 days and it's only received 12 contacts. Now, on my last rental, which was my ADU, I would probably have anywhere between 5 to 10 contacts per day. So even though they're asking 28, there's not a lot of inventory, the market is telling us that this is actually overpriced. This is really important to notice. Now, of course, you can look at the photos, each their own. You see the cleaning, you see the tables there. My unit is arguably nicer, and I do have an extra bathroom. This is saying it's a 2-bed, 2-bath, but I don't believe that to be accurate based off the square footage. I am very familiar with the condos in this market. And it actually says down here, 2-bed, 1-bath. So you see 2-bed, 2-bath up here, 2-bed, 1-bath here. They might be getting the wrong tenant pool, but that's a whole nother story. The point being is you might look and get excited at the 2,800, but if you take a look, they're not getting a ton of activity. So let's switch over to this one. Very nicely done unit, does have laundry, but it seems like they're asking a low price, $2,295. Listed for 1 day, look how many contacts. 2,824 contacts. I would imagine this is going to get listed and rented out within the next 3 to 4 days once they finish their due diligence. But this means this price is really in hot demand. Take a look at this one. This one's been listed for 4 days, had 75 contacts and 9 applications. Now, I don't personally take my applications through Zillow. When they do the background check, things like that, it's not as thorough as I would like, but for our sake, in terms of determining rental comps, this is great to know. This is telling me that this is a hot property and this is at $2,400 a month. And this is just just down the street from the very first one that we saw that was listed for $2,800. And then last, same complex as the other one, it's been listed for 12 days, 18 contacts. So arguably a little over 1 a day. This one's also at $2,400. Now, if you take a look, what's interesting is same complex, but they haven't gotten theirs rented out yet, but yet the other one did. So we can take a look and see, pictures are a little blurry. That's not for everyone. This is probably a common area. Does have a pool in the complex. That's great. When we compare it to this other one, it's kind of hard to tell as to why one's renting more than the other. But we know that based off of these numbers, knowing 2,400, 2,400, 2,300, and the 2,800, my unit is more likely to fall somewhere in this range, the 23 to 2,400. So knowing that means it's a good thing. It means rents have gone up since my tenants were last there. It means that I'm gonna start turning more of a profit. So for those who have read about me in forums and posts and all that, I used a HELOC on my first house hack to buy my next house hack, so that my profit margin is really slim. So I need every dollar I can take. Now, the next thought is, why else should I keep it? Because it's not just about the rents. Los Angeles is known for appreciation. So let's talk about what's going on in Tarzana. So first off, what's really cool is take a look at this. Instill bio to build 102,000 square feet campus in Tarzana. Here's what's awesome. This is like a 5-minute, maybe 10-minute walk from my rental. This is telling me that people like this area. People are willing to invest in this area. This also tells me that high-paying jobs are coming, right? This is biotech. They do research for cancer research, other things, where these scientists make good money. They want that walkability to be able to walk to work, but also be able to walk to shops and restaurants. Because remember, this is Tarzana. You have Ventura Boulevard. So this is actually really good to know, because it tells me that in the long run, there is room for appreciation. So we know that there's good appreciation in the area. The rents are actually fairly decent. Now let's talk about the cons. Well, it is a homeowner association. So when you have a condo, the whole point of owning is to have a lot of control, right? If there's a roof leak, I can fix the roof. I don't have to wait on a landlord or a property manager to handle it for me. With condos, it's a little bit different because you do have to go through a layer, a homeowner association. So if there is a roof leak, you have to call them, they have to come out, repair it. There's trees that need to be trimmed, you have to call them, they'll go out and take care of it. So good news is, it's all pretty much covered as part of your HOA dues. The downside is it can take a little bit longer to get stuff done. If there's a roof leak, if it's your own house, call a roofer, he's out there next day. Where an HOA, it might take a couple days, maybe even longer, depending on what the process is like. So that is one downfall. Now, the second one to strongly consider is in the city of Los Angeles, any condo built prior to 1978 is subject to Los Angeles rent control. Now, the exception is, of course, how much you can raise rent based off of some other guidelines that have been put in place. However, as of today, all the same COVID restrictions that happened in 2020 are still in effect. That's why I have to think about it from a business perspective. Do I really want to deal with LA rent control, or do I reinvest that money elsewhere? So that's the first part of deciding whether or not to keep your investment property here in Los Angeles or sell it and do a 1031 exchange. Thank you guys so much for watching. Comment below on what your thoughts are. Would you rent your place, or would you immediately sell and move on? This is great conversations that a lot of landlords are having right now. So love to hear you. And of course, don't forget to subscribe or follow depending on where you're watching this. You guys have a great week, and I look forward to talking to you at the next episode.